everybody, Michelle here with The Redesign Habit, and in today's video I'm going to show you 3 different holiday wreaths that you can make. They are super fun, super easy, super affordable, and they don't take much time. I would say 10 to 15 minutes per wreath, maybe. So the best part is when they're all done, they look like $1,000,000. If you guys are ready, I'm ready. So let's get started. Okay, so we're starting with wreath number 1, and I'm starting with just your basic grapevine wreath. I happen to have this one. However, I know that Hobby Lobby and Michael's always have them on sale around the holidays. You can get this smaller size for between $5 and $10, I would say. And you might get lucky actually and find them. I see them a lot in the thrift stores as well. What's nice about these is, and this one's getting pretty old, so it's getting a little brittle. But what's nice about these is with all these nooks and crannies, you literally can just push your greenery or whatever you're using straight into there, and you need very little to support it. Now, if you're gonna hang your wreath outside where it's in the elements, I would suggest using some floral wire, or I don't have floral wire right now, but fish line also works to anchor those things down, especially if it's something that's a little heavier and it might fall out. If you have your wreath hanging on the door and you're going in and out of the door a lot, you might want to anchor your stuff. This won't show once it's all wrapped and tied off. So that's a good option to floral wire. What's nice about the floral wire is it's super thin, and you can bend it in any way you want and then twist it rather than tie it. So, but literally all you're doing with a wreath like this is you're taking your greenery and you're just pushing it into where you want it to go. Now, you're gonna play with it a little bit. I always do. I put stuff in and then I go, I don't like the way that looks, so I take it out. And I, move it around a little bit. But this is just basically to show you how easily a wreath like this can come together. It's super fast. Aside from if you're a symmetrical girl like me, you might get a little hung up, trying to get your stuff placed in the correct way that you think looks the best. Now, I'm not anchoring any of this stuff down with fish line because there is no reason for me to waste video anchoring something with fish line. But basically all you would do is take your fish line and run it across there, knot it in the back, and then these aren't going to move or go anywhere. And it would also help them lay flat if that's something you desire. Now this is just out of a dried arrangement, some extra that I had laying around. So I'm just going to add that, kind of move it around in there. You can add really anything that you would like that's along these more natural, kind of neutral vein that I'm kind of vibing on this year. So you just put your stuff in and you just secure it with some fish line, which I will go do, and then I will show you the finished when it's done. But it's that fast, that easy, and it doesn't cost much. These came on a bundle. All these pieces were on one bundle. I used my snippers, which if you don't have a pair, you should get a pair. They're actually really wire cutters, which is why they work great on these, because these are wire. And you literally can snip them apart so that you can place them and you get, a lot out of one bush. So this bush I got, I think, at Walmart in their holiday area. And I want to say it was like, I don't know, under $5 for the bush. So I'm breaking it apart and using it on multiple things around my house. You can do about anything with it. So that's number 1. Let's move to number 2. Okay, so moving on to wreath number 2. Now this one is a little bit more of what we tend to think of as a Christmas wreath. I got this in the $5 or less area of Walmart. It was $4.99. If you want a little bit of a flocked or snowy look, but you don't want to buy the spray can of flocking, which if you've ever had anything flocked, it goes everywhere. It is such a mess. And so if you're doing a wreath and you want it inside or on your door, front door, and it's going to open and close a lot, and you don't want to be constantly cleaning up piles of flocking, just take a can of white spray paint and just kind of spritz around the wreath, and then you'll end up with what looks like a little snow on your wreath, but nothing comes off. It doesn't flake. It doesn't make a huge mess. So that is a plus in my book. I love the way flocking looks. I hate the mess flocking makes. So anyway, the trick to these guys when you get them, and really any wreath, but especially these little more affordable guys, is they really need to be fluffed and fluffed and fluffed, because they're so flat and one-dimensional. And you know, it's like an artificial tree. You spend the majority of your time playing with the branches, trying to get it, you know, to look full and everything the way it does in the picture. So the same is true with these. Now, what's really nice about these little guys is, again, you can add anything you want. This one, I'm going to do a little more glitzy. So I have these pretty gold leaves, and just to show you, here it is. They came like this, and I used my trusty snippers, and I cut the individual leaves off so that I could use them around the wreath. These are also really pretty if you just stick them like in a, you know, faux plant arrangement, or even a live one if you're careful, around your house to just add, you know, a little holiday bling. And they don't cost much. I think these were like $1.99 a piece or something. And I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 leaves that if I cut it apart, I can use on different projects around my house. So that's one way, right? That's one way to be thrifty when you're doing something, is look at how can you make more out of what you have, what you're getting. Can you cut some things apart and use it in multiple ways? And successful design a lot of times kind of carries a theme around your house. So think of that when you're buying greenery or dried arrangements, things like that. How much, you know, can you break that apart and maybe use it in the kitchen and the family room to kind of connect it without making it look matchy-matchy? Design tip of the day. You don't want matchy-matchy, you want matching adjacent, right? So now these little balls, I found them at the Dollar Tree, and there were 12 in the tube for $1.50. So you can't beat that price. So make sure you check your dollar stores, thrift stores. A lot of times people get rid of old stuff because they're getting new stuff. And so finding these in those places, you can use them all over the place. They're pretty in a bowl, on your table, whatever. You can't beat the bang you get for your buck. I actually found these, they're plastic, which is good because they won't shatter. And if you have kids or dogs, you don't want glass balls because it's very dangerous, can be. These are nice because if they fall, they just kind of bounce around. And if it does crack, just throw it away. But it won't shatter like the glass balls will. Now I just put a little fish line through there. And I'm literally just going to tie it to the wreath. And you anchor it and you tuck your fish line in, and you can't see the fish line and the ball will not fall off. So now these, I would tuck them all, get them the way I want them, which, like I said, that takes me more time than anything because I'm a little bit over the top when it comes to things looking balanced. I drive my family kind of insane. Anyway, you just kind of tuck them in, lay your stuff out, plan how you think you want it to look, and then start securing it with your floral wire woodwork here as well, or the fish line. and just kind of play with it. You know, position the stuff the way you think you want it. And again, this comes together so fast. And yes, your kiddos can help you with this. They can help you plan. Now this guy, we've all seen these. I think this was 99 cents, and I actually got 2 of them because I wasn't sure what I was gonna do. But these have a clip on the back, and what's cool about that is you just clip it on to whatever, where you want it to be. And then just kind of zhuzh it to get it to look the way you want. And once you have everything all laid out on here, you go back with your fish line, you tie everything up, and you've got a more glam wreath. Wreath number 2. What did it take me? 5 minutes? I mean, not even that. The biggest part is the fluffing of the wreath. And if you're going to use the spray paint to get a little bit of a snow look on your wreath, obviously you have to allow time for that to dry, because the good news is it dries very quickly. So like probably an hour and you're good to move on with the next part of your wreath planning. But putting it all together, I'm telling you, 10, 15 minutes and you're done. And these can be any color you want. You can, if you're doing a color thing in your house, they have most of this stuff in all the colors. So super easy to coordinate your stuff and add to it without spending a whole lot of money. Okay, now we're to wreath number 3. And then for wreath number 3, I'm going back to my trusty favorite, a grapevine. And you can see this guy is a little misshapen. He looks almost like a heart, but that's okay. Once everything's on it, you won't be able to tell that. But again, I love these because they make decorating super easy. And if you're looking for some more natural looking stuff, you can't beat these, and you can use it year after year. So it's a great return on your investment. And you can use it all year long. You know, you can put springtime looking stuff on it, or summertime looking stuff, or Christmas stuff. I mean, they're very versatile. So a little bit more so than what we think of as a traditional evergreen kind of wreath. So I really like these. So I'm going to do the same thing that I've been doing, and I'm going to start by laying out some greenery. Now, what I'm doing on this wreath is a little different in that this greenery that I'm putting on here is not what you think of as traditional Christmas greenery. It is greenery I have around that I might use in a pot on the patio or something like that. It's more plant than it is holiday. But when you put it all together on your wreath, and these are awesome because you just literally tuck it in. And you add some more holiday-ish feeling things with it, as I fight with it. And the stems and stuff, you can trim them. I probably should trim that one off because it's a little long. There we go. And then these greenery too, and these also, all these things came on bunches, and I cut them apart with the snippers. So now I'm just adding them to this wreath to give it some green. But I'm just trying to show you that you don't have to be super traditional if you don't want to. If you've got some of this greenery around your house, use it. You know, you can put ribbon with it. You can put pine cones with it. Nobody's going to judge you, and it's going to look great when it's done. So don't feel like you always have to spend a ton of money because, well, this doesn't look like Christmas or whatever. You can make anything look like Christmas. It's all you, you know. What do you love? What kind of look do you want? And just go from there. Don't worry about people judging what you're doing. Do what you love and what makes you happy in your home. That is my best advice. That is the advice I give anybody for any decorating project. So once you kind of put your greenery on, and again, I'm not securing this with fish line because you don't need to watch me do that. You can add some pine cones. And these pine cones came in a bunch, and I cut them apart because I'm thrifty that way, and just place them around. Okay, and the pine cones, you probably can't see. I'll do some close-up photos so you guys can see better, but there's a little glitter on it, so it's giving it a little glam vibe. And then I've got some dried that came out of a dried arrangement, extra stuff that I had. And you're just gonna feed that through and kind of position it the way you want it. And I'm really going very fast here, and I'm not taking a ton of time because I don't want to bore you watching me shove things into a grapevine wreath over and over again. But I do want to show you how easy the process is and kind of what a cool look you can get when it's all said and done. For the bow on this, I'm doing raffia. You can see it's just raffia. I literally took it and tied it in a bow. That's all I did. There's nothing tricky about that, and the pieces hanging down are what make raffia look wonderful and kind of casual and kind of, boy, I made a mess here, kind of festive, but not over the top, more natural looking. And I would secure this with my fish line or my wire. But that is wreath number 3. And again, what, 5 minutes? If I didn't talk so much, probably less. Okay, here I am in my sea of wreaths that I created. I do have one more to show you that's just a very simple one that I have hanging on my door this year. And I want to show you because I added LED lights to this one. And I got these LED lights. See, they can be colored. You can do whatever with them. I got the LED lights at the Dollar Tree. I think they were $1.50 a piece. They work great on mantles, on wreaths, on a table centerpiece, anything where you don't want like a big extension cord running to give it power with the electric lights. So that's just kind of a bonus idea, and you would just hang your wreath so that your light box is accessible but doesn't show. So that is a wreath I did this year, and this burlap bow I found at Dollar Tree, $1.50, I think it was $1.50. And it's cute because it's got little sparkles and stuff on it. Use fish line to hold the ornaments on, just like I said. Cut apart some leaves to place on there. So I do practice what I preach. I don't give you guys these ideas and then do none of them. I do them myself, and I have for years. You know, when we were young, I was doing it because I didn't have a choice, and now I do it because I like to. It's fun, it's challenge, and I get things to look exactly the way I want them to. And I know for a fact that if I went to Hobby Lobby or Michael's or online to buy one of these ready-made wreaths, you're talking $50, $60, $70. You can make it easy for under $20 for sure and have it tricked out. But I would say even between $10 and $20, and you will have it year after year to use again and again. So this was my more natural wreath. This was my minimalist wreath. And finally, my faux flocked, which I realized you can't really see on the camera very well, but I think it will show up in some pictures, so I'll take some close-ups. My a little glam looking wreath. And I did all of these very quickly in front of a camera. You guys can certainly do them. Like I said, what you do with them is limitless. You can use about anything you want to create a holiday wreath that is exactly to suit your taste and your decorating style for this year. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to take a lot of time. You don't need a degree in engineering to put it all together. It's super easy and it's super fun. And I hope these spark some ideas for you on some things you can do around your house this holiday season. And I wanted to say, if you haven't done so already, please don't forget to visit our website, theredesignhabit.com. You can sign up there for our weekly newsletter. It is free to you. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. And finally, if you haven't subscribed here already, please do that. We're growing slowly and steadily, and I love to see you all come on board. So make sure you're subscribed. Hit that button down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. It helps us out. And I think that's everything for this video. I did all my to-dos. So that's it for this video, you guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.